You have dreams, some of the most boring dreams in my opinion, about just walking through the streets
right.
and nobody recognizing you.
Yeah.
Now, I do believe that you could do that if you did not roll with a squad. That's what I think your problem, you roll with the Secret Service. So I think if you went to like South Africa, if you walked around in parts of South Africa, no one would recognize you. I think if you walked around in parts of maybe Malaysia, some parts, because I've seen Barack Obama's in these other, like when I was in Bali, they have one of their ministers in government looks exactly like you. And I remember I got there, I was like, oh, why they got Barack on the wall? And they were like, no, that's not Barack. I think you could walk around in a lot of countries if you just left everybody behind. I think that's what it is.
No, yeah. In all seriousness, I completely agree with you. There is a attractive nuisance to, there's a bustle and suddenly people are with glasses and they're talking and so immediately everybody, what's the commotion about? And then at that point, you are attached to it. Unfortunately, I don't have the option of getting rid of all those folks. Although I will say that when I'm on a bike, which Michelle and I have done sometimes, or even when we're walking, right, and the service is pretty far behind us, we can actually get away with taking a walk if there's not a big crowd.
I think Michelle is too famous, though. You can get away with it.
Well, that's the point. Although what she says is, and I've quoted her on this, she can, tie up her hair, put on some sunglasses. With me, I'd have to have an operation on my ears in order to properly disguise myself. So if it's cold and I've got a hoodie or a ski cap, maybe I can. Maybe you
can get away with it.
Exactly.
Do you spend a lot of your time online because it's not like you can go out much. It's not like you're at the mall. It's not.
No.
Then how do you know so much about everything? Because you know a lot about like music. You're in touch. You know about what's happening. So if you're not online, do you have like a person who comes to tell you what's on Twitter?
Well, I spend enough time online to figure out what's going on. But for example, I read headlines. One of the benefits of being president, at least if you were doing your homework while you were president, is, usually most of the time when you look at a headline, you kind of figure out the context of it. You don't have to, if I read about the war between Azerbaijan and Armenia, I know the details of that. I know the players involved.
Okay,
so I can skim it, right? When it comes to music, Sasha and Malia oftentimes are my eyes and ears, right? They'll pull in what some of the new tracks are. They're playing them in the house. I'll ask them what this is.
Who have they put you on to?
I use Shazam, which works
but
surprisingly well.
Who have they put you on to now? Who's the latest artist they put you on to right now?
Let's see. Well, Sasha, she goes into the deep cuts. If she gets on SoundCloud, she pulls all kinds of stuff up. Some of it is what you'd expect. Bryce, the Bryson Tillers, the Lil Uzi Vert.
Okay.
The stuff that is, to be expected in her generation. The flip side, what's fun is it goes in the opposite direction too. So I had to explain to them about Joni Mitchell, and I play a few tracks, and they go, "Oh, okay." So they're learning some old cuts from their dad as well. They don't adopt any of my dancing styles, but some of my music they appreciate.
What would Sarah's perfect girl group be, and who would be? And then I thought of asking you just like a bunch of names, and I was like, it's going to be too difficult. So I thought I would make it easier and more difficult by breaking into categories. And so I would like you to help design essentially a mega group. Right? It's going to be a mega girl group, and I've broken up some categories, so I wrote them down. Classic rock, rap, pop, soul, R&B, and then singer-songwriters.
I'm ready. I'm so ready.
All right, let's do this. So, from the category of classic rock, Tina Turner, Janis Joplin, Stevie Nicks.
It's got to be Tina. I mean, no disrespect. This is impossible. It's like where you're choosing.
Oh yeah, no, you're offending somebody. Please don't get me wrong. Yeah. You're offending. Yes. Please, you're gonna have haters after this. Please don't get me wrong. That's the whole point of what I'm doing to you. So Tina Turner. Okay.
Tina Turner. Yeah.
Have you watched the documentary, by the way?
No, but
It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. You definitely want to watch it. Okay, so we've got Tina Turner. From the category of rap, Lil' Kim, Megan Thee Stallion, Missy Elliott.
Missy.
Okay. All right, so we've got Tina and Missy.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so now from the category of pop, Madonna, Britney Spears, Beyonce.
I think, oh man, I'm going to go with Beyonce.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to go with Beyonce. I'm going to go with Beyonce.
From soul R&B.
I wish you could tell. I'm like sweating right now. The pressure. as if you're going to invite Beyonce in too. Come on in, honey. Okay.
From the category of soul R&B, Aretha Franklin, Nina Simone, Whitney Houston.
I can't give up an opportunity to be in the same room with Nina Simone. Like, even though it's impossible, I think it would be Nina.
Okay. And then finally, singer-songwriters, Taylor Swift, Dolly Parton, Joni Mitchell.
Go with Joni.
You going with Joni Mitchell? Wow.
Let's go with Joni.
This is a super power group. Okay, so we got Tina Turner, we've got Missy Elliott, Beyonce, Nina Simone, and Joni Mitchell writing for them. Man, this is, I mean, you've already sold, I feel like you sold Diamond and the album hasn't even come out yet.
Joni Mitchell interpreted by like Missy Elliott. Come on.
That would be pretty amazing. That would be
either wonderful or terrible. There's just like, no, I don't have no idea.
Prince used to call you and just say, hey, can I do an hour on your show? And you'd always just be like, yeah.
And you know what? There is no other answer. When Prince, he calls you and he would, you know what? He did that 3 times. And that was incredible. And I never let anyone else do that. But he would say, I want the whole show. And I said, yeah, and he would do incredible things. One time we got in trouble because Prince was mad about some reviews and he took the LA Times and he put it in a baby grand piano, put lighter fluid in there and set it on fire. All of a sudden we hear fire trucks and the fire marshal comes running on. Something you're really not supposed to do inside on stage 29. But he always created excitement when he came.
Wait, but so he just burned the piano?
Well, he set the reviews on fire until somebody came and put it out. I think he ran and got a fire extinguisher, but that same night, Prince said, so what do you do in LA? And I said, well, LA is not like New York. It's shut down at 2:30. You got to find a party at an after hours joint or somebody's crib. And he said, an after hours joint. And I said, yeah. He says, I want to go to an after hours joint. So me and Prince jumped in a limo. He had an acrylic cane, a clear cane.
I love it.
And we went down to the hood. I always call it south of Wilshire.
Right.
There's an after hours house. You come to the gate, you ask for this lady, she takes you in, she locks the gate behind you, you go inside, they give you liquor, you put the money on a table because you're not supposed to pay for it.
Right.
We sat at 2:30 and watch the strippers roll in because when they get off work, that's where they
come to party.
Yes, and Prince loved it because he could hear music and he could hear kind of an underground thing that might not be in the clubs. And I realized because he didn't want nothing to drink, he didn't want nothing to smoke, he didn't want nobody to touch him, but he sat with his cane and he listened to every track like a scientist. And it was one of the coolest nights of my life to take Prince someplace, but we both had no business being.
I have my phone here, and I think you have a phone with you.
I do.
The way we're going to play this game is we're both going to type in the word roses, and then we're going to hit space, and then we're going to let the predictive text write the rest of our poem. So we're going to hit like 15, 20 words and see who can come up with the best poem. Because I believe true creativity comes from your device. I think that's where your real essence lies. That's like anyone can write an amazing poem that goes viral around the world. The true genius lies inside what you send your friends.
Nice.
So
Yeah, that's right. You might need to stretch for this.
So.
Let's do this. 15, 20 words. Go for it. Okay. All right.
I'm dropping some bars here, okay?
Let's go.
Roses are being the best part of my life, and I'm so grateful that I am not afraid of that and my life. I love you.
Wow. Okay. This is a new phone, so like, I don't know if it like count. Anyway, here's my one. Roses, you have the perfect choice for me, and you have the perfect choice for me, and my friend, 2 p.m. Postmates, and sandwich. I love it. Cat emoji with hearts in the eyes.
That was so deep. That was so cerebral. I love it.
I thank you for your graciousness.
Thank you.
If you want to use it in one of your new books, then I don't mind. I was like, wow, LeVar Burton's coming, and he is the master of reading books. And I was wondering if maybe you could just like read just like a little bit of the book, just for me to have as well.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like a signed baseball almost. I'll just always have the clip of you reading a bit of my book. This is like from chapter 12, you know, just stories of me dating and getting into the dating world as like as a teenager. So you can read as me, do you know what I mean? I just want to get your vibe as me, if you don't mind.
The audio version.
Let's make sure we record this, please. This is really great for me to keep.
LeVar Burton is Trevor Noah reading Born a Crime. In high school, the attention of girls was not an affliction I suffered from. I was...
Wait, sorry. Wait.
That,
is that my voice?
well, that's my version of your voice. Maybe it's not that high-pitched. Maybe
Also, like you did like a...
Like you were in puberty?
No, but I mean beyond... sorry.
Take two?
I'm sorry, my bad. Keep rolling, guys. Sorry.
Here we go.
Just keep rolling.
I wasn't the hot guy in class. I wasn't even the cute guy in class.
I feel like now I'm depressed. It's a little...
Yeah.
Is there like a middle? It's sort of like me now, if you...
I wasn't the hot guy in class.
Oh, this is beautiful.
I wasn't even the cute guy in class. I was ugly. Puberty was not kind to me. My acne was so bad that people used to ask what was wrong with me, like I had an allergic reaction to something.
People are going to want another audiobook made by... That was fantastic, but I don't want to... let's just...
I was auditioning.
I'll keep the job. Thank you very much.
Right. Well, auditions haven't worked out for me all day.
What would be like 3 things that you would change in the sport and then just be like, yep, that's it. Candace Parker said it and it's done.
In the sport of basketball, okay, here's one. The NBA travels. So I would allow the WNBA to have the same rules as the NBA within traveling. Because I feel like we make a bomb move and it's a travel, and the NBA, like, you know, you got Giannis taking 97 steps and everybody's like, wow, that's amazing. And it's like, but isn't it, like, it's amazing, but like, can we get the similar rules? So I'm not saying NBA can't travel. I'm saying just let the WNBA travel.
Okay. So loosen up the rules around traveling. Okay, got it.
Loosen up the rules around traveling. I would say number 2, like, occasionally have it be half court for the older players. So we kind of just sub out for like 35 and up, where it's just kind of like, all right, you know, you're not feeling the greatest today. We're just going to go straight half court today. So that would be another one. And the third one, that's a tough one. I would say the third one, we definitely need like an old school, new school. Like we need to solve this era debate because everybody thinks their era is the best era in sports.
Yeah.
So somehow like we need to develop a time machine so that these eras can compete against each other because
that would be pretty amazing. You know that?
Talk about Chuck. Like Chuck's talking about his era and talking about guarding Steph Curry on the 3-point line. I'm like, there's no way you're guarding Steph Curry on the 3-point line.
You know, if I were you, I would figure out if I could patent that idea. It may not happen in our lifetime, maybe it will, but a time travel league would be the greatest sports league we would ever, I mean, because it would be the biggest league of all time, and then you'd have Charles Barkley, who would go up against Steph Curry, and then Michael Jordan would be going up against LeBron James, and then like everyone would just be in this mix. You just started the next $1 trillion franchise. It is going to get awkward though when like someone comes from a time where, because I mean, people, we change over generations, and then like someone from like the 50s is going to come and be like, man, all these blacks and these women, man. And then it's going to be awkward. So we're going to have to warn the audience.
Like,
we're going to have to warn them and be like, yeah, there's some people from the 50s going to come and, man, they're just going to say some things. And then the people from like 2,000 years in the future, they're going to be like, wow, you guys didn't give women free time with their kids? Wow,
like,
you guys are
women
trash.
can speak about sports? Like, women can speak sports, they're not wearing skirts, and like...
It's gonna be wild. But we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. What is it like recording music with Michael Jackson? And secondly, when are you gonna release the music? Are you gonna release the music?
I have so much stuff with different artists that's I don't want to say my vault, like Prince had a vault, I have a vault. Only mine is there's no lock on mine. There's no lock required. Anyone can go in and listen to whatever you like. That stuff might come out, after I'm gone. But right now, it's just for me. And 100 years from now, they can hear all of that shit. And every now and then I'll take something that I like, one of my own tracks, and I'll put it up on, I love this YouTube thing now. But the stuff with Michael, I got stuff with, like I said, with a bunch of different people that maybe one day that stuff comes out.
I would love to know how you get a song recording with Michael going, because Michael, I mean, it was famous with like, Walter Yetnikoff would tell the stories about how he would turn everybody down. And then Eddie Murphy comes along. Eddie Murphy's a world famous comedian and actor. Like you don't think of Eddie Murphy as the singer at this time. How do you get Michael to say yes?
I think I was cool with Michael. Before I asked him, we were kind of like friends. It's a trip. I did a song called Yeah, where I have everyone that was in the music business back at that time on this record. And it all started because we started with Michael. I had this thing I asked Michael first, and so after Michael said yes, I got Michael and Luther Vandross and Garth Brooks and Teddy Pendergrass and Barry White and Janet Jackson and Bon Jovi and Julio Iglesias and In Vogue and Heavy D and Hammer and Babyface and Howard Hewitt and Amy Grant and Elton John and Paul McCartney and Patti LaBelle and all these people on this like one song. And it all started because I had Michael first. I was able to say, hey, I'm doing this song. And Michael did it, so everybody else did it. So before you knew it, I had all these people.
I always wondered...
And we never released the song.
I always wondered what Michael thought of your impression of him. Because like...
He thought it was funny. First of all, I'm the very first person ever, after a sea of Michael Jackson jokes that happened, I'm the very first person to do to say something funny about Michael Jackson and Delirious when I talk about how sensitive he is.
Yeah.
The very first person. And he thought it was hysterical because it's not mean-spirited. I never did anything about him that's mean-spirited or
right.
Taking shots at him.
I've asked you to do a favor for me, just to like get us into tuba land. It's genuinely one of my favorite instruments, as a comedian especially. I think it is a powerful tool of comedy. But just explain to me, so how many fingers are you using there?
5.
Okay, so you got 5 fingers.
Yes.
And then do you have to do like an interesting thing with your lips when you play it?
I do. So traditionally you just buzz and play, but I like to beatbox, multiphonics, jam. I heard you listen to some hip hop earlier. I like to do a lot of hip hop on the tuba.
You can do hip hop on a tuba?
Yes.
Can I hear what that sounds like? Hey. What? This guy's beatboxing on a tuba. What? This guy's beatboxing on a tuba. Okay. All right, I get it. Okay, so now what I'm gonna need your help with is I'm a big fan of music.
Okay.
And I like how music can add an emotion to anything.
Yes.
So I'm sure you're familiar with this, but on the show, what happens is a lot of time we'll watch the news, and there'll be some moments in the news, or just like clips that we get that we think are hilarious.
Yep.
And I always wish that we had the music that would accompany them. So I'll just get us like the control room. You guys can pick a few clips or whatever, and then we'll just play them. And then Richard will he'll play the music after the clip of what we think the music, what you think the music could have been. Just something that you think would have been fitting for the sound. So let's play a clip. Let's see how it goes.
No, he got it too.
Oh man. Yeah, that is the sound of anticipation, the moment where you realize it's failing, and then realizing that you don't have the insurance to cover the decision you've just made. That was, I think that was apt. All right, let's try another one. They're replacing plain windows with screens? Come on, guys, if I want to see boring pictures of nature, I'll just look at my screensaver. Okay, first of all, why would we play my clip? And second of all, I remember that going much better than, I feel like you played the wrong, I don't know if that was like the right sound for what just happened there. I feel like your interpretation of my comedy was greatly misplaced. And you know what, Richard? In spite of how you played that, I will continue to do comedy. We need to find who played that clip. That's what we need to do. Can you play like a Jaws soundtrack for me looking for the person who played that clip? Can you play like a Danger soundtrack, please, Richard? Yeah, that's me coming for you. Whoever played that clip. You think that shit is funny? You think it's funny? I mean, it was pretty funny, but whatever.